Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, glory, and honor unto Yahawah. Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Harakakwadash. I would also like to give a double honors unto the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone that do rule well, that have taught me this truth. And I would also like to say a sincere shalom unto the hopeful elect that are scattered throughout the four winds of the earth, unto the true and sincere brothers that are out there prophesying and laboring in this truth and this doctrine unto you. I say shalom. These trade wars could take a left turn real quick. All right. What I mean is these cold wars, trade wars could eventually and will eventually turn into hot wars. All right. Where, they're kind of going these, Canada, Mexico, U.S., certain EU countries are kind of going tit for tat right now. You do this, I'll do this. You do this, I'll raise you. But eventually something's going to have to give, because the ones that are going to suffer are the people. Okay, the citizens of this wicked ass country, America, and the citizens of these different countries. All right, where they're throwing tariffs here and there. All right, but it affects the consumer. All right, and like I said, shit is going to turn left quick. All right, and unless you're watching, unless you understand what the hell is going on, you're going to get caught unawares. This going to come upon you like a thief in the night, and you ain't gonna know what to do. All right, you're gonna be looking for answers, looking for solutions. Why is gas so high? Why is food so high? All right, why isn't my dollar worth anything? What is this new system they're trying to implement? What is the mark of the beast? Okay, people are gonna have all these answers, and the answers are available to you right now. The prophecies are taking place right before your eyes. You just have to have eyes to see. All right, you have to have spiritual eyes in order to, when you see articles like this, you know that this pertains to me. All right, people see articles and read stuff in the news and act like, it don't pertain to me. It doesn't affect me. No, everything that's going on in the news affects you, and it's not that we can do anything about it, like we're going to raise up and fight against it, but being knowing these things and having refuge in a time of trouble is what you need to. That's why you need to know, because when the time of trouble comes, you're gonna want to you're gonna want to seek refuge. You're going to seek answers, and we're seeking refuge in Bahasham Yahawashi. Okay, the name of the Heavenly Father, who the world ignorantly calls God. His name is Yahawah, in the name of His Son Yahawashi, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. To put our faith in them, and they're going to deliver us from these perilous times. They're going to deliver us from trouble when it's at hand. All right, so let me read a little bit of this article, because like I said, this tit for tat shit ain't going to last forever. All right, and these relationships between these several countries has been severed so bad it can't be mended. Okay, and Trump is the man that's going to bring forth this third world war. All right. So it says trade war escalates as Trump pledges more tariffs. All right. So this is going to keep going on and on and on until something has to give. Like in this article right here, or this tweet, it says Trump will shortly declare national emergency. It ain't going to come back. National emergency because of power. It says this article. It says Ontario Premier threatens to shut off electricity completely for U.S. if trade war escalates. So that's what they're thinking. All right, but Trump, U.S. going to one up them. All right, so it's like I said, it's going to go tit for tat, and everyone's making alliances right now. All right, in another article I'm going to get to, it says EU. All right, several EU nations and Canada have also retaliated against the U.S. All right, so like I said, eventually these trade wars are going to escalate into something physical. All right, it says U.S. President Donald Trump has pledged to impose more tariffs after the latest move to introduce import taxes on steel and aluminum entering U.S. prompted retaliation from European Union and Canada. This is prophecy. All right, the EU. All right, the whore, which rideth on the beast, NATO and the EU. All right, is the beast has already, but it's really beginning to show the hatred for the whore. all right, which is America, all right, and it's going to, like I say, like I keep continuing to say, it's going to get to a point where they have no choice but to, you know, hey, light this place up, okay, as a whole, as a unit, all right, they're going to come against Babylon. It says Trump said, of course, we would respond to the countermeasures, repeating this warning to reveal reciprocal tariffs next month on countries around the world. So hey, this is beautiful, okay? Because this is the beginning of the end of Babylon. All right. Of course, Babylon's been circling the drain for decades now, but this is showing you the beginning of the end, where they're going to make their basically America's going to make war with the world. All right. And we know that was prophecy that would happen. Therefore, that's how, that's going to give these nations a reason to come against this place in war. All right. The threat marked a further escalation of a trade war, which has rattled financial markets amid concerns over the impact of economies and consumers in many countries around the world, including the U.S. On Wednesday, Trump moved forward with a plan to widen U.S. tariffs on steel and aluminum, imposing a blanket duty of 25% and ending exemptions that the U.S. had previously granted for shipments from some countries. All right, I even heard where Trump said if he may impose a 50% tariff on aluminum and steel from Canada. All right, and unless Canada becomes a 51st state. All right, so hey, that's showing you Esau's trying to flex their muscle, or they are flexing their muscle. All right, with words, but of course these words are going to be followed with actions. That followed back to the article. That followed an order earlier this month that raised levies on Chinese imports into the U.S. to at least 20%. And this is going to cause inflation because the U.S. produces nothing, all right, besides a few things. With all the imports or all the goods in the world, U.S. probably produces maybe 5%, 10% here, all right? And that's just my estimate, but you can see we don't get everything we get is from China. Okay, the majority of things we consume, even including the food, come from China. All right, and amongst other things, the EU. All right, Trump has also threatened tariffs, which are taxes applied to goods that as they enter a country, on a range of more specific items, including copper, lumber, and cars. Let me see. Bad business, worse for consumers. Canada said Thursday that it would start charging a 20% tax on nearly $30 billion worth of U.S. products, including steel, computers, and sports equipment. Prime Minister designate Mark Carney said he was ready to negotiate a renewed trade deal with Trump as long as there is respect from Canadian sovereignty. So that they want to keep their sovereignty, but Trump may, put so much hell on them through these tariffs, all right, that he puts businesses out of puts businesses out of business, okay, and creates and he's really creating a wealth gap, all right, where the rich get rich and the poor get poor, all right, and it's like I said, it's going to hit the average worker, it's going to hit the average person because they're the ones that's going to that this tariff is going to hit the hardest, the consumer. All right, the EU President Ursula von der Leyen said the response was intended to be strong but proportionate, and added that the EU stood ready to engage in a meaningful dialogue. Tariffs are taxes. They are bad for business and worse for consumers, she said, warning economic disruption, put jobs at stake, and would send high prices higher. So it eliminates job and causes inflation. Eventually, there will be hyperinflation. All right, where bread will cost $100, and this is not something that happened, that has never happened. All right, this happened in Germany in the Weimar Republic. All right, where I think I read something where someone sat down and ordered a steak, and by the time they sat down, by the end of that end of them consuming that steak, the steak was $20. The steak the price went up to $40. All right, that's a hyperinflation, and I'm just throwing an example out there, but that's a real event that happened in history. Okay, so Let me read a little bit of this, because this directly affects people here in the States, even though, they may turn off the power, but you got to get ready for that. All right. And not physically, oh, I'm going to go get candles and I'm going to get a backup generator. No, you got to get prepared spiritually to deal with these type of things, whether it's a blackout, whether it's rolling blackouts, or where they're going to cut your power off 8 hours out the day, and shit could possibly heat up during the summertime when more energy is consumed because people are running their AC. All right. And, you're going to, already know it's going to be several heat waves across the U.S. All right. So let me read a little bit of this. Ontario Premier Doug Ford said in a press conference that he would move forward with a 25% surcharge on electricity exports to 3 U.S. states starting Monday, warning that he will turn off access if the United States adds new tariffs on Canadian goods. So they're threatening to turn off power to certain states. They're already raising the rate. All right. And that's something that, you really can't control. All right. Because Esau pretty much monopolized the power and they know everyone needs it. All right. Therefore, whether you got solar or not, you're still on the grid. Ain't too many people living off grid. Okay. So you have to, you have to go to this man for the one of all things. We're, stuck in this captivity. All right. And you have to be prepared for that. All right. And people don't realize your power, really your power is connected to the water. All right. A lot of things are connected to just your power that people wouldn't even think. All right. But these are the last days, the end times that we're living in, and you have to prepare yourself spiritually. All right. It's nothing you can do. You can't do, work out and, go to the gym and, people think they about to be like Will Smith and I Am Legend. You're going to run and get in shape and you're going to it don't work like that. All right. That and it was, those were events in that movie that could possibly happen, like, the whole pandemic and, the quarantine thing. But it ain't going to be like the movies. This shit is going to get major out here. Or it's going to get major all across the world. All right. As, things begin to heat up, tensions begin to grow between these nations. All right. Nations are not going to have pity upon America. Nations are going to be thinking like, man, we got to destroy this place before our people are destroyed. All right. But like I said, this is the beginning of the end of Esau's kingdom. All right. This is 2 Ezra 6 and verse 7. Then answered I and said, what shall be the parting asunder of the times? Or when shall be the end of the first and the beginning of it that followeth? And he said unto me, for Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau. For Esau is the end of the world, meaning a age, meaning a era. The word, the Greek word is ions, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. So we're at the end of Esau's kingdom. If you go back to the the blessings in Genesis the 27th chapter, Esau had a nice blessing. He was blessed with the fatness of the earth, but his blessing, his rulership has an end, and we're at the end of that. And his end is going to come. What it says in 2 Ezra 9 with what does it say? Endings and effects and signs. I'll read this. For like as all that is made in the world hath a beginning and an end, the end is manifest. Even so, the times also that the highest have plain beginnings and wonders and powerful works, the endings and signs and effects. So we're clearly at the end. And you're seeing it. We're watching the end of Esau's kingdom. We're watching the end of Babylon right before our eyes. All right. And it's nothing you could do about it. These plagues are sent, and it's nothing that Esau, it's nothing that Jake, it's nothing that no one can do about it. All right. All these things have to play themselves out. And we understand and we know what the end result is. Babylon's going to be burned with fire. It's going to be civil war. It's going to be race riots. All right. It's going to be great famine. It's going to be great pestilence. It's going to be great death, which is spoken of in the scriptures. All right. Esau is going to come down with great wrath. Esau is going to point the finger at you, Jakes, and blame you, Israelites, for all of this. All right. This is Daniel 12 and 1, if I can get to it. At that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince, which standeth for the children of thy people. And Michael is the head archangel, angel of war, that's right under Yahawashi. All right. For the children of thy people, So like the great prince would stand for the children of thy people, and there shall be a time of trouble such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered, everyone that shall be found written in the book. That's the Lamb's book of life. But that time of trouble is speaking of Jacob's trouble. Let me grab that. Jeremiah 30 and verse 7, alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. The time of Jacob's trouble is closely approaching. Let the lights be turned off in this place, okay, for 24 hours. All right, you can't access your money. All right, you can't access your social media. You can't access any news. All right, you know, nothing's going to work. All right, you may have an AM radio or a CB radio or something. That, man, let an EMP hit. Let some type of attack. And that's the way that this place is moving, where, you know, these nations, they may send an attack, okay, just to retaliate against Babylon, against America for the tariffs. All right, for you know, like people may say, damn, like our people are fucked up, man. You know, this recession, these tariffs, our economy is in the shits, man. Let's take it out. You know, let's do something to them. All right, and you already got sleeper cells here from these various different countries that came in through the border. And I ain't talking about the Northern Kingdom. I'm talking about, you know, you got Hamites here, you got Moabites, so-called Chinese. You got all nations here that's, you know, ready, waiting on the signal. All right, waiting to make a move. All right, and that's what no one's anticipating. All right, you know, along with world war, it's going to be a form of civil war. It's going to be, you know, that it's going to be war. It's going to be great death in this place, all right? And this is the only way to prepare, all right? Putting your faith in Yahawashi, practicing the righteous acts, okay? Understanding that, you know, this you know, seeing an end, all right? When shit happens, we foresee the end. We say, okay, this is the end, all right? This pertains to the end, or we're getting close to the end. These people, they don't see an end. They just see like, okay, what are we going to do now? What can we do to maintain this? And what can we do to stay status quo? We don't want to stay status quo. We want this place to burn. We want this place to be destroyed. And it will, thus saith the scriptures. Or let me grab Joel 3 and 1. For in those days, and at that time when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah, I will also gather all the nations. I will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, and I will plead meaning judge, with them for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. All right, the Lord is going to bring these nations, these heathen nations, down to the valley of Jehoshaphat, the Middle East, the Levant area, and that's where he's going to judge the majority of them. All right, in World War III. All right, World War III, the chariots of Yahawashi coming back, and you know, hey, taking Esau out. Yahawashi coming back in that great fathership, putting those crowns of those many nations, meaning conquering these nations, upon his head. Okay, this is going to be the last. This is going to be the war of wars. This is going to be the last war ever fought ever. All right, ever in history. Let me go down to verse 9. Proclaim ye among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. Beat your plowshares into your swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. And you got a lot of these weaker nations that are teaming up with each other because they may not be able to come against America solely by themselves, but they could team up. Canada could team up with EU nations, and they're stronger. They're understanding that, hey, it's strength in numbers. Okay, and they were all Confederate. I'm gonna grab that in Obadiah. They were all Confederate at once because, hey, as long as they had us down, long as we didn't know who we were as a nation, the Israelites, hey, they could do whatever they want. They could move how they want. They could make deals and make trades. Okay, and you know. It wasn't really no consequence. It wasn't any tension. But as the Israelites begin to wake up and we understand, we come back to our heritage and we begin to call them upon the name, we begin to rise in the spirit as they begin to fight amongst each other, as they begin to become divided. All right, beat your plowshares into your swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Oh, I slack you. I read that. Let the weak say I am strong. Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen. Gather yourselves together round about thither. Cause thy mighty ones to come up come down, O Lord. Let the heathen be wakened and come to the valley of Jehoshaphat, for there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. Put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come down, get you down, for the press is full, and their fats have overflown, for their wickedness is great. The wickedness of Babylon, the wickedness of, the world. All right, the Lord said in 2nd Ezra 15, wickedness has exceedingly polluted the earth. All right, so that's one of the reasons that the Lord has to come back and make his presence known and establish righteousness upon the earth. And I said I was going to grab Obadiah verse 7, all the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him. So all the nations that were confederate with Esau, that made deals with Esau, okay, that they're going to come against this place. All right, because it's prophecy. All right, it's prophecy that there would be division amongst Esau, the house of Esau. There would be division amongst these nations. This is Mark 3 and 23. And he called them unto them and said unto them in parables, how can Satan cast out Satan? If a kingdom be divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand. And if a house be divided against itself, that house cannot stand. And if Satan rise up against Satan and be divided, he cannot stand, but hath an end. All right, so this scripture, Yahawashi is speaking to the wicked scribes and Pharisees because they said he casts out devils in the name of Beelzebub, but he was cutting them because they were divided. Okay, but we also apply this to these times where Esau has become divided, and we use this to compare that where Yahawashi said a kingdom divided cannot stand. Okay, you know that old saying, they say divided, united we whatever, and divided we fall, or something like that. All right, and Esau is divided. And their end is manifest, and their end is prophesied. All right, where all these nations, all these nations, like I said, that were once confederate with they're going to come against this place, as it says in the scriptures. Let me grab Revelations 17, and I think it's the third to last verse. It says, and the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. All right, the 10 nations, all right, are accumulation of nations that the original 10 nations of the EU, but the beast which the horse sitteth upon, where is that at? The beast that the horse sitteth upon. Let me see. Well, the beast is the NATO in the EU. Let me see. Sitteth. And he said unto me, the waters which thou sawest where the horse sitteth. Let me see. It just said, maybe let me try 15. And he saith unto me, the waters which thou sawest where the horse sitteth, and people and multitudes and nations and tongues. Let me see. Y'all read 17. For the Most High have put their heart to fulfill his will, and to agree, and to give their kingdom unto the beast, until the word of the Most High shall be fulfilled. Damn, where was that scripture at? Bear with me 1 second. Beast. And maybe I was thinking of something else in Slovakia. But hey, the beast, the NATO, the EU nations, they're coming against this place. All right, and it's like a growing wave. Okay, it's like a snowball. It's like a snowball effect, where the small snowball, that's how they're coming. All right, they're coming slowly. All right, may have a few people that's coming against Babylon, and eventually, the nations understand and realize that they have a common enemy, and that this devil got to be taken out for them to survive, and eventually they're going to come against this place. All right, and Revelations 18 is the end game for Esau. All right, for all the nations have drunk of the wine, Revelation 8:3. For all the nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through her abundance of delicacy. So that's going back to the nations being confederate with Esau, making agreements, drinking that wine of democracy and all these different philosophies Esau pushes and has pushed throughout the planet, and has these other nations have adopted because they wanted to be like Esau, and they wanted to make compromises and deals with Esau, so they had to conform to Esau's ways, to America's ways. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, "Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues. For her sins have reached unto heaven, and the Most High have remembered her iniquities." He's talking about Babylon, America. "Reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her according to her works. In the cup which she hath filled, fill it to her double." That's a double portion of judgment that Babylon is going to receive. "How much hath she glorified herself and lived deliciously? So much torment her, and sorrow give her. For she saith in her heart, I sit a queen, and I am no widow, and shall see no sorrow. Therefore shall the plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire. For strong is the Lord Yahawah, Yahawah power, who judgeth her." All right, so this judgment is coming from Yahawashi, all right, through the smith, all right, through the missiles, through Yahawashi and the chariots. All right, so that's the end game of this wicked ass society that we live in. Okay, and yeah, when we first say this, it sounds crazy that y'all want Babylon, y'all want America to be destroyed, and y'all live here too. Yeah, we do, but we have faith that that our sacrifice, our living sacrifice, all right, our works, all right, will be worthy for redemption, be worthy for salvation, and we escape the destruction. Okay, so I just want to hit this point real quick. Things are heating up, things are turning up, and these trade wars could go left any minute. Okay, so Lord willing, this lesson was edifying unto the elect, and I want to give all praise, glory, and honor unto Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Harakakwadash, Shalom.